Hello, I'm Akiro, and I'm a sophomore from the Science and Global Change Scholars Program. I am dual degreeing in immersive media design and neuroscience. For my practicum, I created a project under the guidance of IMD professor Dr. Myungin Lee. The topic of my research was dynamic difficulty adjustment using EEG. The premise of my project is the idea that different users can have different experiences when completing tasks or puzzles. For example, maybe one user thinks a certain level is really difficult, while another user is really bored with the level, thinks it's too easy, and is not really paying attention to it and can still clear through with a breeze. In order to solve this, I looked at a variety of previous works that go into the field of dynamic difficulty adjustment, which basically looks to solve this problem and adjust difficulty to the user dynamically, as the name might imply. So if a program sees that a user is having too easy of a time in a certain level, then it might adjust the parameter to make it more difficult to hopefully get the user engaged once more. And on the other hand, if a level is too difficult for a user, then maybe we can tone down the difficulty a little bit in real time to still keep the experience there. Now, what you're seeing in the background are the results of my project so far. A lot of the details and the assets have not been fully developed, but the idea is that we read in EEG data, which is electroencephalogram. It's a device you wear on your head that measures your brain waves and your brain activity. And based on your alpha, beta, and gamma waves, we can determine essentially how focused you are. There is some error to it, but we can get a rough idea. And then from there, we read in this data as a single focus variable into Unity. And then we use this to adjust the difficulty parameters as needed. And coming up with actually what makes difficulty in a game is another point that requires a lot of attention. Since this is a sort of puzzle slash shooter type game, we determined that the best way to increase the difficulty if the user is having too easy of a time completing the objectives is either by making them use more stamina when running around the map, which makes them think about their movement a lot more creatively, or just simply by directly buffing the enemies and making them shoot faster or hit harder. And then on the other hand, if the user is having too hard of a time, we can make it a little bit easier for them and hopefully level the playing field by making their bullets either do more damage or push the enemies back even further to stagger them for a longer period of time. My takeaways for this project are that choosing a research topic requires looking into related works quite a bit, seeing what similar things are out in the field, and then using that to figure out how you want to make something uniquely your own, or if you want to build on previous works. Overall, the purpose of this project is to prove that dynamic difficulty adjustment and EEG don't just have to be used as a wow factor in whatever media they're present in, but you can have an already existing sort of game or archetype of game and then use EEG and dynamic difficulty adjustment to make it better in the background silently without completely drowning out the rest of the experience. Thank you for watching.